It's kind of interesting seeing Death Battle die a death. This is a show I've been wanting to see fail for, I want to say, over a decade now, right? The show, it's contributed nothing to the community. It's just been clickbait. It's not well animated, not well researched, not well put together. And yet, we're supposed to believe that Death Battle is the end all be all when it comes to these kind of power scaling debates. It's not, never was, and not only that, it's not even like fun to watch, you know? Like this is essentially just a method to prop up irrelevant lower tier Western franchises that people don't care about, whether it's Invincible or Avatar: The Last Airbender, or more recently God of War, right? Like it's all just a giant wank fest for irrelevant Western characters that nobody cares about, such as Superman. You know, Death Battle is and always has been a joke, but after the failure of Rooster Teeth, you know, the Death Battle guys getting the channel away from them and doing their own thing. There's this really weird like kind of sense of just like, yeah, what's going to happen now? They don't have the backing of a major corporation behind them. So are we going to see positive changes? Are they going to like really improve their methodology? Are they going to like make better content? Are they going to like I don't end the show entirely. You know, like I wanted the show to end, but there was definitely this like kind of mystery as to what was going to happen next. You know, how things were going to proceed from this stage. Because this was kind of an unprecedented situation in which, you know, a major web based, you know, propaganda outlet would fail and have to like come back from the grave. This was kind of unprecedented. So, you know, seeing Death Battle come back and seeing the past couple of episodes and seeing like, you know, what they've been doing, yeah, it's done. It's over. Ben and Chad need to get real jobs. Everybody involved need to like just stop embarrassing themselves. Like that's what this all comes down to, really. Like I don't even really want to talk about the episodes themselves or like, you know, what they try and push and what they try to do. Like the reality is Death Battle is cringe. It always was cringe. It was a bad idea. As a concept, it's a failure because you have to scale completely different universes with completely different tones and ideas and like come up with some weird like justification as to why one character wins and the other loses. And more often than not, it feels like the character who wins is picked to cause the most controversy and therefore the most engagement, right? It's not based on anything factual or anything impactful or you know, an actual genuine discussion, right? It's just a giant cope to get the results they want. You know, this is why Superman wins, even though Superman sucks shit. You know, this is why everything they do involves like, you know, Western comic book nonsense. And this is why Kratos won. You know, like this is why Death Battle is sitting there trying to tell you that Kratos is like some multiversal like entity that can like move quintillions of times faster than the speed of light, while in the actual game he's just hiking through the wilderness or something. Like what they come up with simply doesn't make any sense. It's not based on any lore. It's not based on science or mathematics or any real feats, right? Like it is just a giant cope to get the result they want. The one that will benefit the channel and their bottom line the most. And when it comes to God of War, it's important for the brand. I would argue the most important thing to the brand to like continue this narrative that Kratos is like stronger than anyone and like the strongest video game character ever. Like I think even Death Battle even says that, right? Like Kratos is the strongest character we've ever covered, which is obviously a load of crap, you know, if you think about it even for 2 seconds. But that's the narrative. You know, that is the God of War brand. You know, the illusion that Kratos is completely invincible and would wreck any other video game character in existence just because he's Kratos and just because he's so strong, bro. Like, that's always been like the driving force behind the brand is that like Kratos is just so much better than like those Japanese video game characters. It's like it's the core appeal of the character, I would say, is just pretending as if he's way more hardcore than he actually is. And the games themselves went to great lengths to continue this illusion, right? They the real reason why they have Kratos being so brutal and so depraved was to promote this idea that he's just so much more violent and therefore so much more powerful than other similar characters. But it's it's just a giant cope, you know. Like it was always just it was always a lie. It was always just like a marketing gimmick, and it fell flat on its face before like the original trilogy was even over, right? Like the fact of the matter is, like Kratos is an irrelevant character that no one cares about, nobody wants to see again. That has only been propped up by desperate PlayStation fanboys, and Death Battle is trying to keep this character relevant the same way that they tried to keep Ruby relevant, right? The same way they tried to keep like all these other like minor inconsequential characters relevant, right? Like the idea, the illusion, the myth, the idea of Superman, as I call it, like preserving the idea that these specific Western characters are better than their Japanese equivalents. It's uh, it's just a giant cope. It always has been, and I'm very curious to see if this is gonna impact them at all going forward because this is one of those situations where like you just can't ignore the reality of what's going on, because this was a clearly biased move on their part. This was clearly something they clearly wanted a specific result. And like, how exactly can you watch a show like this if they're going to make such leaps of logic, if they're going to keep doing this, right? To me, I feel like Death Battle is in its death throes, like it's incapable of keeping up the illusion that it's unbiased and nonpartisan. Like they're going to keep doing this, and as they keep doing it, they are going to become more and more controversial, and eventually people are going to stop watching. And I hope, I hope this is the beginning of the end.